Stephen Thomas live with another Housing Debrief, episode 15 for 2021. Of course, while we wait for more people to come on, I have people to introduce. Is there a Mason Edward Thomas?
Hello.
And hey, ask him what he's doing for this weekend. What are you doing for this weekend? What are you doing for this weekend?
Relaxing and
playing
a bunch of fun games.
Relaxing and playing fun games. Well, that's cool. So he's relaxing and playing. So did you hear what he's missing? He's missing soccer. Soccer's not happening. So that's because we're done. Our season has ended. We get a little bit of a break. And now I want to introduce you somebody amazing from, she's a middle schooler, super cute. She's giving me puppy dog eyes because she is hiding. But I'm going to introduce her, Alana Jo Thomas, also known as AJ Thomas, whispering to me and I cannot read lips. Here she is. Anything to say to the people?
No.
What are you doing this weekend?
Not soccer.
Not soccer. Isn't that funny? We have some time off. It's a 3-day weekend. I think we're going to do some pool time, relax, do that type of thing. I think we have a track picnic.
For Mia.
Yeah, I think we're all going. So that's fun. Cool. Thank you, AJ Alonjo, number 99. Also, number 99, different team. Also, her nickname is Fantastic. Athena Rose Thomas. Huh?
What's up?
What are you doing this weekend?
Nothing.
Nah, not soccer.
Except I'm going to watch a lot of TV.
Oh, are you? Yeah, we'll see about that.
And have a lot of candy.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by the Housing Debrief, episode number 15. So there you go. Those are my kids. And now I wanted to bring you the Housing Debrief. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So let's get right into it. Got to turn on my clicker. I would like to thank our wonderful sponsor, my buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial. And he deals with more than one kind of borrower. And of course, there's more than one kind of loan. Everything from full documentation loans to alternative documentation loans, investor financing, and even private money loans. So pretty much everything. And loads of experience. Has been doing this since 1976. Centennial of our country, and he is fantastic, very knowledgeable, knows economics and talks economics, and has been around for quite some time. He's a good friend of mine, and you want to tap into his knowledge. Monarch Coast Financial, Kevin Buddy, he can help you and your clients. Contact him at 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. And of course, Reports on Housing. I'd be remiss not to talk about what we do, and that is your local real estate snapshot, our company. And we're about bringing really good quality information that is backed up by an economic model and statistics and data, and that is power. People try to think of where the market's going to go, and when I listen to these vlogs and blogs and YouTube episodes and what people have to say, it's not buried in a lot of fact. A lot of them hang on one chart or one piece of data or something like that at best, and it really just doesn't paint a complete picture. So, and we don't focus on that much on closed sales data because that will be a snapshot of what's happened in the past. And instead, what we look at is looking through the windshield, and that is the active listing inventory, supply, and those are the number of homes available to purchase today, as well as demand. That's a snapshot of the last 30 days worth of new escrow activity. So the recent escrow activity is demand the last 30 days, and we look at that same number over time. And then from the supply and demand, we're able to come up with the speed of the market, what I call expected market time, or the market time from planting in the for sale sign to opening up escrow. That'll tell you the speed. The lower the number, the faster the market. And we'll get into that momentarily. But it's about setting expectations for everybody, because everybody should really have expectations based upon facts, knowledge, and data. And our reports dot all over Southern California. And the most recent one that came out was Crash is Coming. San Bernardino got theirs this week. LA and Orange County and San Diego got theirs last week. That means this coming up week, not on Monday, instead on Tuesday, we have a new report coming out because we have a 3-day weekend. So everybody's going to enjoy a fantastic Memorial Day. My hat's off to everybody that has risked their lives for our country and everybody that's sacrificed for our country. And I want to say thank you very much for your sacrifice and your dedication to the country. Anyways, reportsonhousing.com. That is our website. And you can go there, click on subscribe, and we'll send you an email. And in that email is the report, as well as the bottom. There's a bunch of links that you can print it out, copy, cut, edit, paste, lots of Excel spreadsheets, charts, and excerpts, and infographic, as well as social media posts. We have just about everything. And this thing, like I said, comes out every 2 weeks. It's $15 per month or $150 per year. And there you go. 1 month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code BUY NOW, because that really is my theme. And people go, yeah, you're saying that because you're a housing economist. That's not necessarily true at all. And that's because I've timed various markets and also have talked about cracks in the markets when things are going to slow down. It just does not add up to that kind of a market. And we'll get into that. So here's the big thing. Buying a home, do not wait. And I'll explain, because you know what? It is very frustrating being a buyer in this marketplace. It is absolutely incredibly frustrating. And that's because everything is zooming upwards at such a rapid speed. And of course, we have very, very swift appreciation. And you can see that in the Case-Shiller home buyer or at the Case-Shiller National Composite Index. And this is for all of the country. And if you could see this, it's skyrocketing. This thing just came out for the month of March, and it is very reminiscent of 2012 and 2013. And so right now we're dealing with 2020 and 2021 on the right-hand side, and it is really parabolic. It's going up. It is going up like nobody else's business. And the only thing that's going to make this reverse course is once we get interest rates to go up a bit higher. We've talked about that in many other episodes, but we're not going to get into that. But I wanted to bring you this because this is the most recent data, and it's continuing to surge upward, which is absolutely frustrating if you're a buyer in the marketplace, because you know the longer it takes you to purchase, the more expensive the housing price range that you're looking at. And they're dealing with nothing on the market, absolutely empty shelves. Things come on, and when they come on, we get loads of people that want to purchase, and they line up all over the place. And this is true everywhere across California, Southern California, across the United States. It's no different. And there's a lot of people talking about it slowing down a little bit. It's absolutely not slowing down. They say that because of new home permits, and they say, oh, well, things are starting to slow. It's just not the truth. It's not what we're seeing in the numbers at all. I've actually just started crunching the numbers for the Bay Area because that might be where we're going to go next. And it is absolutely no different. And the flavor of this year is sold over asking. Nearly 2/3 of all homes are selling over the asking price. And which brings us to, we are zooming. We are going at an extremely rapid pace where it is extremely frustrating being that buyer in this marketplace. And for many buyers, they've written 7, 8 offers, and they just want to give up. They want to walk away. They want to just try coming into the market when things are a little bit different. So they just may want to wait, slow things down a little bit, maybe enjoy some summer, the summertime, that type of thing. But the problem, there is an issue with that. I'm going to wag my finger and say, no, that's just not the direction you should go at all. And I understand many people think there's going to be some sort of a housing crash. That's what my most recent report is about, how it's not going to be a housing crash and how we're feeling a bubble. And I know that Jamie Dimon over at, wherever he's at, my mind's blanking, but he stated that we're slightly inflating a bubble. It's because the bankers are meeting. He's a banker. I know he has access to different economists, but I do not see it as a bubble. If anything, what will happen is we have values that continue to soar to a point where they're really, really high, and then we get higher interest rates, and at that point, we'll see values come down, but we're nowhere close to that anytime soon, and I'll explain that in a second. So this shows you where the California unsold inventory is. And this is done by California Association of Realtors because it goes way back to 1990. I like utilizing this data because I don't have data that goes back that far. It looks very similar to my market time statistics. My market time statistics dial it in even more, and it gives you kind of the flavor of the day. And it got even higher than the 16 months during the Great Recession that this shows. But if I'm going to blow up a piece of it, because this is where we are right now. And if you draw a line across, you can see the unsold inventory is at a real low. And I'm blowing it up a bit just to bring it from 2003 all the way to today. And I'm going to go through a little bit of how quickly the market changes, or how quickly it's not quick necessarily. It's a slow, methodical, progressive change from going from a seller's market to a buyer's market. It does not happen overnight. This is not like speculative Wall Street where you watch things go up and down. That is not the way that it works. Instead, you get this slow, methodical rise, and then you get this thing that comes down, and you can see the pattern here of where things were at and where they ended up today. But this was 2004. And if you look at 2004, you see that little dip. Actually, in 2004, in the June of 2004, we all of a sudden got a whole bunch of homes in the market, and it skyrocketed upwards. And that's where you see it almost got to 4 months and then came down. And that was the summertime. And then it came down. And why that came down? Because our market probably should have slowed down right there and continued up then rather than later, because we kicked the can down later, because of the fact that subprime was born. But then 2 years later, because remember, that's 2004. We have 2006, and you could see 2006 that the numbers start to really increase, and we get to above 6 months in 2006. So the numbers were already telling us that the market, there's too much inventory, there's not enough demand, and that was the first indication that the wheels were going to come off the market, and it happened. Actually, in the fall of 2005 is where we started to see it first. And I was talking about it back then. But then you flash forward further and you get to 2007 when the subprime market meltdown happened. That was March of 2007. And that's where we increased even more to almost above a year after that. We went above a year, and that brought us to where things really slow down. And when you get well above a year, you watch values just absolutely drop like a rock, because we were hanging up there for over a year and a half at those very, very high levels. So now you get the picture. And then from there, we just kept on going down until we got to where we are today. And it is the lowest that we've seen since 2004 in this unsold inventory index. But now let's get to the California median days on market closed sales. And you see this, it's at 7 days. And this is all closed sales with the median closed sales, the median days on market for all closed sales. That's the middle value, is 7 days. It has never been this low. Just absolutely incredibly low. And these last couple slides are brought to you, of course, by California Association of Realtors. And they help me out with a lot of different data so they can go really backwards in the number of years. So let's talk about housing. And it's really a supply and demand issue. So I talked to you about how high supply got. So we had this unsold inventory that was really high. this is what's going on today is a very, very low supply, and it's feeding upon itself and making things even more difficult and more challenging in the marketplace because fewer homes have been coming on the market recently. So the Southern California housing supply, if you look at this is where we are as of today. So I crunched the numbers again. We're at 16,795. We went up 1% or an extra 239 homes. So we're going the right direction. And last year we were at 31,055. So that's 85% more than where we are today. But it's starting to narrow, and that will happen over time. So that's 85% more than where we are today. But we really can't compare to last year, because last year was actually a very low number of homes on for sale on the market. And once we got into the summer, it was the lowest that we had seen. And that's what got us to where we are today. And the 5-year average is actually almost 40,000, which is 137% more than where we are today. Boy, we could use all those extra houses. Wait a minute. I have somebody. That's one more slide. I'll tell you. Highest level since the end of January. So our inventory is coming up. So it's the highest level since the end of January. So the trend is your friend. We're going the right direction. Finally, we're getting more homes in the market. Zeke, come on over here, Zeke Deaky Doo. Yes, he had crazy hair day today. If you see, he has this crazy hair colored and all that stuff. Was it fun today? Mm-hmm. Did you see a princess at school today?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
I'm not gonna. I know how.
Oh, that's Ruby. Ruby's princess.
I
Oh.
don't see it.
Oh, maybe next time I'll have to show you. So anyway, say hi to everybody. So what do you want to do this weekend? Maybe we'll go to see some people run at a track meet. Maybe we'll go in the pool. Would that be fun?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to eat popsicles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds like a fun thing. Anyway, say bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Zeke. Wow, that's an unexpected surprise guest in the middle of our program. But net, we've actually added 812 homes in the last 4 weeks. You're saying that's not a lot, but look at 16,795. We're going the right direction. It's just slow, methodical. You might not feel it in your marketplace. It's very, very slight, but it is the right direction. And we're getting that in spite of the fact that there's so few homes coming on the market. And part of that could be a reaction to how swift the values are going up. But we'll have to see what long-term, how that changes. But that's not an immediate change. It will be a slow, methodical change, and we'll keep you up to date on that. But as far as the number of homes coming on the market, it is very limited. And the whole reason for that is, where will I go? That's the main reason. It's not COVID. It's where will I go? That's keeping people from placing their homes on the market because they don't want to participate after they sell their home in this crazy buyer's market where there's just 50 people offering to purchase a home and they don't get it. So, and there's a lot of people now that are sitting back waiting, knowing that their values are going up. So it's not a bad thing that they're I don't know, I can place my home on the market because my house value is going up. But that is not the best strategy if you have to move up, and real estate agents can show you what that means. 10% of a $500,000 listing versus 10% of $1 million listing is a big difference. This is something that Kevin Buddy brought up, and it reminded me of some slides that I used to do. And yes, this is called prisoner of your own home. And basically what that is you have financed or refinanced your home in the twos. And as values go up, or as interest rates go up, because we're going to get interest rates as high as, like, let's say 3.5%, maybe by the end of this year, we get interest rates at 3.5%, but it could even be 3.75%. We'll just have to see what the, how the economic numbers look. But with interest rates going up, people aren't going to move because they have this great interest rate. It's very, very hard to move. If they want to move up and they're at, let's say, 2.5%, and they want to move up, and now they got a 3.5% interest rate, a whole percent more, and they're moving up. So not only is their payment going to be higher because they're moving up in price, but it's going to be higher because the interest rate's higher. So it's like a double whammy there. So a lot of people have refied into very, very low rates. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. And the number of new for sale signs compared to the 5-year average in Southern California, this is 2015 to 2019, because you can't take into consideration 2020, especially at this time last year because of COVID. If you compare that for the first 2 weeks of May, we're down 17%, missing 2,335 for sale signs. I just bring that up to kind of show you. And Kevin Buddy made a great point about it being that they have these fantastic rates that they don't necessarily want to move. But we need to understand that, because we need to understand why homes aren't coming on the market. So let's talk about SoCal Demand. And SoCal Demand is red hot right now. Absolutely red hot. The fuel for this are low interest rates, and we had 3% interest rates last week. This thing comes out every Thursday. This is the Freddie Mac's mortgage market survey, and it went from 3% down to 2.95%. So it's really stuck at a low level, and it's not really moving. So we need to see more lift in this to slow down our market even slightly. So that's what I'm rooting for. But this is where it's at right now. And demand, this is the last 30 days worth of escrow activity. And within the last 2 weeks, we went up 1% or added 147 pending sales. So it's not like screaming upwards, but it's going up at the same rate that inventory is going up. So that's kind of like a push. But this is nearing 20,000. And last year we were at 15,542, 22% less than where we are today. But you could see that it's going to continue to scream until soon our demand readings are going to be less than last year, which is why you can't look at what happened last year, because it was a COVID year and it totally changed our marketplace completely for the entire year. So year over year data doesn't work. We look at the 5-year average, and that's 18,291. That's 8% less than where we are today, 1,611 fewer than where we are today. So now you can kind of see that we do still have elevated demand. We'd have even higher elevated demand if more homes came on the market, but it's the highest demand reading of the year. And my take on it is we're about to enter summer, that most likely we're going to start to go down from here in terms of demand. And that's because of the summer market. And I'll talk about that in later episodes. But the market is moving extremely fast. How fast is it moving? Well, the expected market time, oops, my arrow is a little bit off. Today we're at 25 days. It changed. Not at all, because the inventory went up. So there's a few more options, but so did demand at the same pace. So at that same pace, it kind of was like a wash. We're at 25-day expected market time, which is extremely fast. Last year, we were at a 60-day expected market time, which is nearly where we are. It's higher than where we are today, but is less than the 5-year average of 66 days. So April 1st was the lowest of 2021 at 23 days. So we're at 25 days. So slowly but surely, we've made it to 25 days. I want to see that this continues, because we need to get this puppy above 40 days for it to not be insane. So that's what I'm rooting for. I'd like to actually be around 50-day expected market time at least. So the only way to get there is by higher rates. And if you look at expected market time over time, we're extremely low. And it has to do with that very, very low supply, very, very high demand makes the market extremely heated. And as far as waiting and why it's not a good idea at all, if you are considering waiting, no, please don't do that. Stick with it. If you need to take a week or two off, take a week or two off. Do not take the entire summer off. And I'll explain why. Because values are on the rise. And it's like this 1-2 punch that we're receiving, where when you wait, rates are going to be higher down the road, as well as we're going to get higher prices. So we have higher prices and we have rates that are going up. So you have values going up, rates going up at the same time. I call it the 1-2 punch. And here's what's going on. You purchase a home today. The purchase price is $875,000 with 20% down, makes it a $700,000 mortgage. And at 3%, you're looking at $2,951 per month. And if you look at if you purchase in December, or let's call it at the beginning of next year, I probably should have said the beginning of next year. Sometime at the beginning of the next year, we could have about 3.75% interest rate, and we have properties appreciate about 8% from now to the beginning of 2022. And if you're looking at that, you're looking at a purchase price now of $945,000. And because we have a higher interest rate now, you're looking at $3,500. And if you look to see what that does to things, that you purchase a home today at $875, that became that $945. and the payment is a lot higher because you're no longer at 3%, you're at 3.75%. That's why I call it the double whammy, because both of them are going up at the same time. The monthly cost of waiting, if I pump this thing up for you, is $550 extra per month because you waited for the exact same home, which is an extra $6,600 per month. And that's just the difference between 3% and 3.75%. And if you don't think that's where we can go, that's exactly where we were hanging out prior to the pandemic, was at 3.75%. So with values going up and with interest rates going up, you're looking at a higher payment. So waiting is just not the answer. And go backwards one. And if you see this, your impact on affordability, this is like, let's say you want 20% down and you're looking for a $3,000 monthly payment, principal and interest. Right now, at the beginning of the year, you were looking at almost a $920,000 house. Today, you're looking at an $890,000 house. You've already lost a little bit because you didn't purchase at the very beginning of the year. And at the end of the year, let's say we're at 3.5, or it started next year at 3.75%, $810,000 house. So you went from an $890,000 to an $810,000 house. That's all you can afford for that same payment of $3,000 per month. So this shows you, as interest rates go up, that it eats into your affordability. Another reason why you absolutely should not wait. Do not sit on your porch until after you've purchased, and this is your porch to purchase. So if you want a copy of this, by the way, I have no problem with giving this copy to anybody watching this. You just have to be a subscriber. Go ahead and ping me, ask for it in the comment section, and I'd be more than happy to give you a copy of this presentation, PDF version of it. And also, I wanted to mention that I did my first live in-person talk, and it was absolutely fantastic. I love what I'm doing, but right now I'm actually speaking to a camera and I don't get to hear anybody, and people, it's $15 per month or $150 per year. And you get a month free if you utilize the coupon code BUY NOW, because that is what you want to do if you're a buyer. Stick with it. I know it's frustrating out there. And my hairstylist, he too stuck with it. After 7 offers, finally ended up in a house, and he closed escrow 2 weeks ago, and he started back in December. So I want to thank Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial, my buddy and your buddy. And he deals with everything from full documentation loans to private money loans and everything in between. Loads and loads of experience, been doing this since 1976. And he can help you and your clients. Just give him a call at 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. And that's all I have for you. If you have questions, go ahead and enter them into the comments. But I hope everybody has a fantastic 3-day holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Remember what this is all about. Say a special prayer for all those people that sacrificed their lives for our country. And just want to say hats off to you. Gives me chills just thinking about all the sacrifices that went on to make us able to be able to do what we do today and enjoy a fantastic weekend in this beautiful country. So everybody enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you so very much. And like I said, hope you have an absolutely fantastic holiday week.